In this video, we're going to talk about big data, what that means, and what that means for you. Hi everybody, welcome to StudioSec. Thank you for watching. Like if this video is helpful, comment down below with your thoughts on big data. I'd love to hear it. And subscribe for more content I'm posting every week. Big data is everywhere. You've probably heard it. It's probably in half the commercials you see every day. You'll see it on commercials. You'll see it on billboards. You will hear it on the podcasts you listen to. But I mean, do we really actually know what it means? Now, if you are already in cybersecurity, if you're in a tech field, you probably have an idea. If you're not, this video is for you. We're going to explain it. We're going to break it down. We're going to understand what it's for. And hopefully at the end, it'll make some more sense. Well, big data is large amounts of data. So thanks everybody. Thank you for watching. Like this video. I'm kidding. No, it's much more nuanced than that. But really it is just kind of a large database, but we'll talk about it, right? Not only is it a big database, but you want to make it usable, right? You know, companies aren't just storing massive amounts of data just to sit there, right? They want to use it. They want to be able to leverage it so that way they can provide better products, better services, so they can learn more about their customers, stuff about that, right? But there's also kind of a stigma with big data where it's like, oh, they're listening in on my phone calls. You know, it's big. That's big data to some people where, you know, it's a large collection of information that may not exactly be collection that they think about. But really, it's just collection of what's called metadata. And what metadata is it's data about data. So if, you know, let's go back to the phone call, right? Let's say I call you. Well, what's stored is not the phone call, right? Not only would it totally be impractical for anybody to store everybody's phone call, because that's a ton of data, but also who the heck cares, right? No one cares what we're saying on our phone call. I mean, telling you that the Chiefs are the best team in the NFL, right? No one cares, except for the Chiefs. But what they will be collecting is metadata. So they'll be collecting stuff like, you know, that I called you, you know, so who we are, what phones we were using, what time we called, what, you know, where we might have been when we called, how long was our conversation, just stuff like that, right? Which may not be inherently malicious. It might still kind of freak some people out, but it isn't anything like, you know, that anybody's gonna glean any, you know, juicy information from you at a glance or anything like that. But the reason that that's important is because, you know, let's say I have an iPhone and you have an Android, and you know, AT&T, let's say, you know, a carrier or something like that, or Verizon or whatever, a cellular company, they want to know what their clients are using their product for. What, you know, what kind of phones are they using? What should we market? Should we market the new Samsung or should we market the new iPhone? So they'll look at, okay, well, you know, this percentage of our clients were making calls and texts using this kind of phone. So if it's majority iPhone, then maybe we should push different discounts and sales for iPhone. Maybe that would benefit a majority of our clients and stuff like that. So it really can be kind of benign like that. But, you know, again, it's, you know, whenever you get into the topic of privacy, it cannot be so benign. Let's also use another example, like a social media platform like Twitter. And maybe you've seen, there's a documentary on Netflix called Social Dilemma that'll tell you a lot more about what, you know, Twitter would probably use that information for. But they'll just collect data on, you know, what you're doing on Twitter, you know, what pages are you visiting, you know, what are you liking, what are you retweeting, what are you saying, and then they want to make sure that they're tailoring your experience on their platform to something that you would like. Now, of course, with Social Dilemma, that kind of spirals into unintended consequences, right? Something that they had never intended ends up happening. But originally, that's kind of the intent is, you know, we want to make sure that our platform is something that you will enjoy being on. And whenever you come on, you know, you find more things that you might like and you want to stay on our platform longer. That's really, you know, at the core what them as a business are trying to do. Now, mind you, that also matters for advertisers. Everyone's trying to sell to you, right? So, you know, not only who are you visiting on social media, what kind of products do you like? You know, what are you buying on Amazon Prime Day, right? Or if you're not on Amazon, what are the small businesses you're supporting, right? Stuff like that. You know, how can an advertiser craft a number of products to you that you may be interested in, right? Now, mind you, you can toggle a lot of the data that is being collected, right? Like location information, you can decide that that's not sent, right? You can toggle, but unfortunately, not all apps will give you that level of flexibility, and it's important to read the privacy policy. Now, another important thing is, you know, you can read the privacy policy. Now, if you haven't read the privacy policy, and let's say, you know, you're not sure of what information, you know, a particular app is collecting, well, they might be collecting a whole lot, you know, like in cases of like, you know, let's say like LinkedIn or TikTok. Those are prime examples of apps that are collecting a lot more information than anybody really bargained for. With these particular apps, and there isn't necessarily a way to configure it. And so that's something to be very cognizant of whenever you're getting a new app is, okay, well, what information is this app going to be collecting from me? And what are they going to do with it? And same with the apps you already have on your phone. Now, how does this tie to big data? Well, again, big data is just large amounts of data. So this is the data, right? It's just, they're collecting all of this. That adds up to a giant database that they need to work in. Now, this ties directly into my video about a SIEM or a security, or a SIEM, I guess. It's a security, information, and event management system. So here's the link right here to that. And that will kind of give you an idea on what they're doing or how they're doing that, or how they're working with the data that they've collected. But yeah, really big data. It's a lot of data that's collected. And at that point, you just want to know, you know, okay, well, what kind of data, you know, and how are they collecting it? And, you know, what do they have on me? And well, that's kind of your answer for now as well. Partly metadata, partly stuff that they've outlined in their privacy policy that they may be interested in, and partly, who knows? Life on the internet, that's partly how it is. So with that, if you have any thoughts on big data, comment down below. Let's keep this conversation going, guys. It's awesome. Like if it's helpful, or like this video if it's helpful, and subscribe for more content I'm posting every week. Thank you. Wow.